when Bob did Fighting Arts of Indonesia, he did a portion of the leg work, put your right foot forward. And it's just interesting how he changed and modified and refined things, where before, and I don't know if you remember this, it was here, and then he went to here, then he went into Lanka 1. And one of my first instructors said that the only thing constant in life is change, which is true, and that also goes for the arts too. And Bob changed the art for the better on the Lanka drills. He took the same good principles, but he went more of a direct route in, and he developed the A, B, and C method of the Lankas, and he refined it so where he could teach it more effectively. So instead of going here and down, it was more of a Kuntao, hit, bring it down to neutral, and then go to here. So it was more of a rat in, pressing, attack. So it's just one here, neutral, and then make an adjustment and go to here. So on Lanka 1, and we can do this, it's just here, I smash, boom, here, neutral, make the adjustment, go into lock in, then I smash, boom, palm here, neutral, make the adjustment.
Section, we move into the lower art. We're going to do what we call leg maneuvers. There are 6 drills that we do, but before you can understand the drill without a technique to sort of hook that drill onto, the knowledge goes off into nowhere. It becomes very abstract. Again, with legs, they're referred to in the Indonesian arts as lankas. What you have to remember is when you are raised from a little one, you are taught that if you step on someone's foot, say excuse me, and get off the foot. You have to change that thinking. If it comes down to combat, self-defense situation, when it comes to fighting, the feet are your ally, and the feet are his. Taking them away, just stepping on a man's foot, you'd be surprised. They're so unused to it happening, their brain goes into brain cramp. They don't quite know what to do. Let me show you a way that you can apply a leg maneuver. This is an early game. The first 2 that we're going to show you are early game. By early game, I mean that if you play chess, you understand there are moves you can make early in the match, and moves that you can only make late in the match. These are moves that you can make early in the match. Let me show you with that flip kick that I showed you earlier against the back of the leg. Dan, this time I'm going to do it as he's in a right lead. I'm in a right lead. I throw the flip. I punch him in here. My foot is already positioned in very close. I'll slap this arm out of the way, which is currently checked, and I will advance behind him, grinding my leg in. This is a grind because I am already close. You don't always get the opportunity to put your foot in this close, but it's there. You can see I can use this principle right away. Let me show you if the foot doesn't come as deep as you want. I'm right here. I'm not locked on his leg, but I can still make this work. I punch him, slap this out of the way, step to here. Well, darn, you haven't made contact yet. Now I have. Now I'm using it to provide impact to the target. So you can grind or you can break. In either case, this is early game. This is something I can do right away. We saw the technique, early game technique. Let me show you a drill that we use to help us practice this. Now the drills are designed to make you comfortable with stepping on, locking around, moving around someone else's legs. Most of us have a tough enough time working with our own. Stepping with somebody else's is a whole new challenge. So you have to get comfortable with that. Dan? First thing that we do when we start the drill, this is drill number 1, is we're both facing in the same direction. We are in unlike leads. What we want to do to engage is to go to a like lead position. As he has his guard up and I step in, I'm going to step off the line first, intercepting this with my furthest hand, reinforce it, and I will step in completely around him and lock. If I can, ideally, Dan, over here please for a moment, put your right foot forward. If I can, ideally, I want to step on him. So this foot not only hooks around, but applies pressure in, grinding in. Over here again, please. So we're facing same direction. I want to engage right to right, like leads. He's got his guard up. I step off, latch in, grind. He then feels the pressure, arcs out. That's his easiest way out. He will drag his foot around. I then step off of this line, clearing the arm. Now I'm applying pressure here because if I don't, he's got enough weight forward, I'm going to have a tough time moving him. What I want to do is make sure I have his balance off. Shifting his weight back makes this much more effective. Then he arcs out, dragging his foot. Now, if you don't understand dragging the foot, imagine you're in a horse stance and you're going to move to a cat stance. You don't just hop back into a cat stance. If you do, and you do it fast enough, you're going to fall down. You use this lead foot as a drag brake so that it pulls you back, it resists, you take those cat's claws, dig them in, pull them back. So you're going to arc out, you're going to drag for brake. What we'll do is we'll go back and forth a couple of times. Stand. We're lined up in here. Now we're sort of close. And what you want to do with your partner is make sure he doesn't step too far. You want to get as many iterations as you can. I want to step off the line and clear. I'm going to pull this in that direction. And I lock in on it. Now you can do this another way. This is better for training. But in application, you may just go in there and jam it. In that particular case, I'm not trying to lock it as much as I am to produce pain. Get a good reaction from it. But for now, we're going to step off and clear, lock in and grind. As soon as he feels the pressure, he pulls it out. Now what I don't want to occur is the gap. I've just run the gauntlet. I don't want to have this happen again. Put your right foot forward, please. As I move in and I grind and he backs out, I want to fill this gap constantly, once more, keeping pressure on him. Now he's going to grind on me. I'm going to arc out. He's going to grind. I'm going to arc out. And once again, I arc out. Drill number one.
I'm going to be locked shin on shin. I'm going to get the 6 o'clock line. Here I'm going to anchor my elbow to me as I lock into here. A lot of times when we do the drill, we're in a positive lock, shin on shin. I can grind. In application, sometimes I can be a little off, especially if I'm going to roll the leg, pop it going, and go in there. I'm not going to be in that kind of a lock. I can also just step on the foot, but I'm still in lock one. What defines the locking is my shin oriented on her leg, and shin on shin, so it's lock one. But for the drill, I'm going to lock in tight. Elbow here, should have a good hand-hip alignment. It's going to be so I get off of it, I smash with the top side of my knee as much as possible, and then as she steps back, I'm going to go with her here. My foot's going to be, my toe, my front foot's going to step in this chalk line. If her foot was a piece of chalk on a chalkboard, drawn a big thick line, I'm going to be somewhere in there. Alright, palm heel, that's going to get her weight going back. That's important because when I go into the neutral horse, I'm going to have a double lower lock and I'm going to keep her loaded up. Then I'm going to make the adjustment, I'm going to anchor my elbow to me and I'm going to take center. That's important because a lot of times when we're doing the application, I can be in here and I'm going to do the knee smash. If her back leg isn't loaded up and I do the knee smash, it's going to be patella on patella, and the person with the biggest leg is probably going to win that battle. But if I load it up in here and I get her up on her back leg, that's going to straighten her leg out. If I go off at an angle, it's going to be a lot more vulnerable. Smash, and then get the other one. So that's a very important principle that I want to highlight in the Lanka drills. So I'm here, shin on shin, give it up, smash, and then I'm going to step into here in that chalk line, palm heel, loads that back leg up, and then I'm going to go to the neutral horse. I'm not going to allow her to go back to neutral. As much as I can, I'm going to keep her on that back leg. Elbows anchored to me, that's a lot of weight. If I'm here like this, That's gonna be a lot of weight to try to control, but if I anchor to me, leaning on her this way, because this is the weak line of my stance, you draw a line between my right foot, left foot, bisect it, and that's the weak line. So if he pushes this here, I'm just gonna go back, because I can't resist that. Unless I lean a little bit, only about 2-3 degrees, just a little bit, then I make the adjustment, anchor my elbow to me, and then I take center here. My whole body is taking center here. I don't allow this to float. If she comes back to neutral, I allow it to float. Now we're both trying to vie for that center of the chessboard, if you will, and all I have to move her off of that is my tricep. If I anchor, my whole body comes in, that's going to get her off a lot easier. And I do that. Now